What is Marvel Snap? You guys have been hearing me talk about this game so much over the last couple months. I've got over 1,000 hours in the game, and I even started another channel where I stream 3 days a week because I genuinely love this game so much. The team has seen how much I love it, and so they wanted to help support me and decided to sponsor today's video. So today we're going to dive in a little bit deeper on Marvel Snap and what it's all about. Marvel Snap was created as a love letter to Marvel fans. One of the things that I love about Marvel Snap is that even if you aren't the biggest competitive card game fan, if you're a Marvel fan, you will find joy in this game. The things that the team has done to follow the storyline of Marvel characters and to create awesome artwork and variants and all these kinds of things, it's just amazing to watch. So if you're a Marvel fan or a competitive card game fan, this game is for you. Let's jump into some of the basics of Marvel Snap to make it a little bit easier to understand for people who maybe haven't played competitive card games in the past or seen Marvel Snap in any regard yet. You have 6 turns to play your cards. You have a deck made up of 12 cards. And you also have 1 energy per turn. Now, the game's really cool because it adds cards that can add energy, that can add a turn, lots of different things like that. So there's so many different things that you can do within the game to affect the basic play style of the game in regards to energy and turns. I think one of the coolest things about the game is that it's played on locations. There are 3 different locations, and your goal is to win 2 of them or tie and have the most power. So if you're winning one and your opponent is winning one and you tie at the other, whoever has the most power ends up winning the game and ends up getting all of the snap cubes. The coolest feature of the game, which is what it's named after, is the snap. At the top of the board, you have a infinity cube that is just rotating around, taunting you, saying, hey, you want to double things up? It's super cool because if you feel like you have a really good hand, like you've gotten good RNG, you drew the exact cards in the order that you wanted, and all of the locations work well for you, you can snap and say, I'm willing to double the stakes here. I think I'm in a good enough position to win that I'm willing to double the stakes. Are you willing to double the stakes? And it's super cool because not only can you do it when you're confident, but you can also do it as a bluff or a responsive thing. So if somebody plays a certain card that has a counter to it, you could snap and scare them into thinking that you're about to win. And it's really cool because you can play so many different mind games that can make you win, but also if you just have a good deck and you know how to play, you can snap and you can just win a lot. I'd say one of the questions that I get most when it comes to new mobile games and all this kind of stuff is, yeah, but is it pay to win? And I get that sentiment because a lot of people don't want to spend money in the game. And the really cool thing about this game is that you cannot just buy everything. You literally can't. You can't buy everything. The monetary structure of the game is based around the variants in the game and upgrading them. So if you want your cards to look cool, they don't get new abilities, they aren't stronger than anything else like in other games where you pay to make things stronger, you just pay to make things look cool. And that's really, really awesome. I'm sure they're going to add some other monetization things in the future. I'm hoping that they add things like tournaments and all that to where I could pay to host a tournament for you so that you could win. But the fact that it genuinely is like very much so free to play is awesome because when you do spend money in the game to upgrade cards or to go further along your collection level, there's still random. I can't just choose to buy a card. I can't just choose to buy a card, which is great because you have to go through the process of unlocking and building a collection, which I think is kind of rare today. And so if you're somebody who wants to try out a new game and doesn't want to spend money and just wants to play and be good at a game and collect, this game is perfect for you. Like legitimately, it's not pay to win in the slightest. And the game is super intuitive. So if you're new to it, it's pretty easy to figure out what's going on. There's lots of great visuals within the game. So obviously it's a turn-based game, but you play at the same time. So there are 6 turns throughout the game, but you play your cards and commit them to a location and play them at the same time. Up in the top corner, if your name is glowing or if your opponent's name is glowing, that means you have priority. So this is a really cool visual so that you can see whose card reveals first, because the order in which cards reveal is extremely important. You could play a counter to somebody that you need to play before their cards reveal, but if they have priority and you play it, then it's not going to work. So that's a really cool visual that they've added so that you can know who goes first. Also, you just have to tap on something to know what it does. You can tap on your cards, you can tap on your opponent's cards, and it explains what's going on. And in that explanation, you can kind of think, okay, what is my opponent trying to do here? How can I counter it, or how can I prevent them from being able to do that? You can also figure that out with the locations. And the cool thing is that a lot of times the locations end up interacting with each other. There are some locations that say after turn 4, all of the cards here are going to move. And then there are other locations that say if a card moves here, destroy it. So if you end up getting a game where a location moves something to somewhere where it can be destroyed, then you need to be careful from playing cards there. It's really cool because there's so many different variables. Every game is different. Like, legitimately, every game is different. I know that there's almost 200 cards in the game that are all unique, that you can build decks around. And so really, you can be yourself in this game. Obviously, there are always going to be metas, but if you guys know anything about me, you know that I am a fan of countering the meta. And so there are so many counters in the game. There are so many different plays you can do to where if you feel like someone is playing a deck that is super popular and super strong, for the most part, you can build a deck to counter that. And it's really fun to go into that feeling like you're the underdog and coming out on top because you built a deck that counters their deck. Like I said, I have been absolutely loving this game. I'm telling you guys, I have over 1,000 hours in the game, no doubt. I stream it multiple times a week. It is so much fun. I want you guys to just give it a try, okay? There's a link in the description that you guys can download. I've been talking about this game for months now, and it is finally out on the 18th of October. So if it's past the 18th right now, you can go and download it on mobile, or you can head over to Steam for early access for the PC version if you guys would rather play that. But you know what we're going to do for you real quick? We're going to jump into a live game, and I'm going to explain things a little bit further to you, and you can see the live action as I explain things. All right, so right here, we've got an example of a deck list. Okay, so like I said, you have 12 cards in your deck, and you want to have a variety of energy cost, power, control. What I mean by control is cards that kind of control an area. So, for example, we have a card called Storm. When you play that at a location, the next turn is the last turn that anything can be played there, okay? Then we also have a card, Professor X. All you guys know who Professor X is. Pretty cool little variant right here. Super awesome. What Professor X does is locks down a location. So it seems very, very strong, but it costs 5 and only has 3 power. So you have to be sure that you're going to win a location if you play Professor X. But it's a really, really fun card. And then Captain Marvel's pretty rad. At the end of the game, so after everything has been done, Captain Marvel will move to a location and win the game for you. If 6 power will win that location and win you the game. So it's not going to move if you don't have an opportunity, but it's a really cool kind of control card to where it's like, I'm going to play this over here, and if I could win the game by having it on another location at the end, then it does that for you. Super, super cool stuff. I love so many of the cards in this game. Like, I'm telling you guys, it's so much fun. I absolutely love it. I've been playing it so much. I have all the cards unlocked. It's crazy. Okay, so let's start here. First location. So a location reveals each turn. Also, right up here, you can see Keebs. That's my opponent, okay? This is me, obviously. Molt. Their name is orange. That means their card shows up first, okay? Right here are the turns. So you know what turn it is. It's 1 out of 6. Down here are the power cubes. That's kind of the trophies of the game. That's what we're fighting for. That's what you can click and snap and double the stakes. And then right here, we've got Baby Groot, but we also have our energy. So that's how much we can spend. The first location that's been revealed. On turn 5, all cards must be played here, okay? We're just going to go ahead and play our Iceman there. Iceman's pretty cool. It makes a single card in your opponent's deck cost 1 more, okay? So it's kind of a control card in the fact that you can disrupt something that your opponent is doing. Now, this is a little bit tough for us. We didn't draw into a 2 cost or even another 1 cost. So we can't play anything this turn. And sometimes that can be frustrating, but as you saw, our opponent didn't play anything turn 1. We're not playing anything turn 2. sometimes that just happens. Now, we've got Storm, which I mentioned to you guys before. Next turn, I can play Storm on any location and hopefully cause some issues. Now, this is where it comes into play of paying attention to what your opponent is doing. So they just played a card called Angela. When you play a card here, +2 power. So that means they're going to try and play 3 cards on that location to get their card strong. So in my mind, I'm thinking they're probably going to play on Angela. Not 100% chance, but they're probably going to play on Angela. So I'm going to play Storm over here and see if we can hold it down and hopefully have them not play on it. As you can see, they didn't play on it. So that does give us a little bit of an advantage against our opponent there. Now, here's the cool thing about this deck. That location is now flooding, but we have a card called Captain Marvel. And as I told you guys, Captain Marvel can move to another location. So this person is playing a destroy deck. You can see that they have the hood. I have a cool variant of the hood that I've upgraded. Again, these are the things that you can spend your credits on in the game. For me, I don't know if I want to play anything unflooded, if I'm honest. I think I kind of want to play the hood, which is super cool. It gives you a 1/6. So we'll play the hood, and then we'll play Carnage, which is going to destroy that negative power, giving us +2. So Carnage is going to be +4. And then next turn, we're going to be able to do something pretty cool and have... we're going to be able to have our demon to throw down and help us out. Now, our opponent does not know that we have Captain Marvel, so they think that they're winning that location. Captain Marvel is going to be able to move over there for us, which is actually going to be really, really cool. Here's what I'm thinking I want to do, okay? So we've got Rescue here, which costs 4. You play Rescue. If you play a card here next turn, you gain 5 power, okay? I know that Captain Marvel normally costs 5, so that means final turn, I can play Captain Marvel there, and I can play Demon in the middle to hopefully help us out, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and play Rescue right here to get Rescue up to a 9 next turn. All right, so they're playing a card called Sarah. Sarah has an ongoing ability where all of your cards cost 1 less. So you kind of have to keep that in mind. Cards in your hand cost 1 less. What we are going to end up doing here is what I think I want to do is actually not mess with that middle location. I'm going to go and play Captain Marvel here. We know that they also have a demon that they can play somewhere. Again, they don't know about our Captain Marvel. So the biggest plan here is I think they're going to play a lot in the middle. If we play this over here, we are going to get +5 for Rescue and then +6 for Demon. So we're going to add 11. So we're going to be at 17. Now, what that means, obviously, is that they could play just their demon over there for 6, but Angela's going to give them 2, so they could add 8. They could go up to 20. So now that I think about it, I think the actual play that's probably best is putting Captain Marvel there and then playing the demon here and hoping that we win the middle and Captain Marvel can go over to Flooded. Okay? So we'll see what they end up playing in the middle. They played Captain Marvel as well. Oh, wow. Okay. So we are going to be winning the middle. We are going to be winning the middle. But our Captain Marvel, I don't know whose Captain Marvel is going to move. I think mine does, and then I win. Yes. So we just won. Now, I know that you guys are probably asking, wait, but they had a Captain Marvel as well. Why did their Captain Marvel not move? Well, I'll tell you. Their name is Orange. Okay? So what just happened is, at this location, if their Captain Marvel had left when my Captain Marvel was there, they would have lost that location. So it didn't move. It didn't move because it would have lost that location. So then, since their turn was over, my turn happened, and my Captain Marvel was able to move, and we were able to take home the W. So, as you guys can see down here, we got 2 cubes for it. Super cool stuff. So much to learn about this game. Head over to my Molt Marvel Snap channel as well if you guys want to hang out for streams and watch stuff. I love the game. I know you guys will too. See you on the next one. Peace out.